Hey everybody, in this episode I want to talk to you a little bit about the design of a newsletter. Now when I speak live I often talk about the most expensive real estate of your newsletter. In other words, what's the most important section or part of your newsletter. Now this is the front page of a typical newsletter. What we have right here is the masthead, and this is the tagline. So the tagline kind of clarifies the benefit or the advantage of someone actually reading the newsletter. If you think that the front page is where you want to put your most important information, you'd be wrong. Here, let me tell you about the most expensive real estate of the newsletter. It's actually the back page. Now here's why. Most newsletters are self-mailers. In other words, they're mailed, they're just put a tab here, they're closed up and mailed. They're not put in an envelope, in other words. So the most expensive real estate is the back page, and here's why. If your newsletter, just like any other part of marketing, any other piece of marketing, whether it be a letter, postcard, or whatever, if it doesn't get noticed, if your customers don't immediately recognize it, there's not the familiarity, or, oh, there's my newsletter from so-and-so, then chances are they may not read it. So what do you want to do? What I do is on every newsletter design, I do what I call a mini masthead, okay? So this right here is the mini masthead. That is a small version of the masthead that's on the front page, all right? So in this case, we have growth management strategies, all right? The mini masthead, growth management strategies, is right there. So again, it's instantly breeding familiarity. The customer will recognize that. Here's another tidbit as far as design. When you fold a newsletter to be mailed, it folds to 5.5 by 8.5, okay? Now, a lot of people make the mistake of using this whole half of a sheet as the mailing panel, and that's wasted space. You actually only need about the top third. So what I do, again, I have the mini masthead, then I put my tagline. Again, this is in a reverse stripe since it's on white, and that kind of makes a nice, very clean mailing panel. So you have this space here above the fold. This is what I called my horizontal aha, okay? So your horizontal aha is a self-contained little tip or factoid, something you want to share with your customers. On the flip side, this is where you want to put an important article. Sometimes there'll be two articles. One of the things you don't want to do, however, is put continued from page 1, 2, or 3, whatever size your newsletter is. This is not the place where everything that doesn't fit in your newsletter goes, because if somebody happens to look at this first and it says continued from, how exciting is that? It's not exciting at all. This is where you can put a very important article, a self-contained article, something you want your customers to see. This one happens to be sources of resistance to change. This is kind of a managerial type of newsletter, so it's a high impact article. So the most expensive real estate is the back page, and when it comes out of the mailbox, whether they see this panel or this one, they instantly recognize it as something they want to see. Alright, so that's your newsletter design tip for today. The most expensive real estate is the back page, so put a lot of thought and effort into it. You want to have your mini masthead, you want to have the tagline, you want to have your horizontal aha, and you want to have a self-contained article or 2 or 3, whatever you can fit, but never articles that are simply left over, continued from. Alright? My name's Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru, and I look forward to being with you next episode. Take care, everybody.